something that Wichita State really excelled in going back to the first half, and Dayon, you alluded to being able to spread out Houston and kind of forcing on the rotations, and something that Memphis and Alabama have had success against the Houston Cougars, something that Kelvin Sampson has talked to after those two specific games against Memphis and Alabama, and something that once we get into the NCAA tournament, I'm sure teams are going to be looking at, and that really seems to be kind of the formula to be able to have success against this Houston defense and being able to spread them out and just attack them off the dribble. You think that that's something that it's cause for concern heading into March, now that we're already in March?
It's a concern. Coogs got to be a better job on the perimeter. That means everybody: Tremont, Jamal, Marcus as well. If a team just going to go into attack mode, you got to keep yourself in front of them. Rotate your hips, turn your ankle, whatever, and beat them to the spot. So yeah, it's a concern, but I'm not sure how many teams the Coogs will face who have that ability to beat them off the dribble repeatedly.
Yeah, I think it's something concerning because you just look at Alabama, for example, they're number 1 and 2 with points in the paint, and they predicated off getting the ball inside the paint. And Houston defense is predicated really on keeping the ball outside in the 3-point line. If you look at where they pick and roll coverage, you look at where they double the post, it's predicated to not only keeping it out of the paint, but they double the post to keep it outside the 3-point line. They guard the guards on the outside really to funnel them to everything outside the 3-point line, to funnel them to the baseline. And so when they can't keep the ball in front of them and teams are able to penetrate it, it just collapses and breaks their entire nucleus of the defense and all the principles of their defense, and it creates open lanes, open shots. And that's pretty much with any defense, whether it's zone or man. If you're able to get the ball inside the defense, inside the paint, it just creates more scoring opportunities, whether it's inside in the paint or it's for drop-off passes that come over help or a 3-point shot. So I think it's something to keep an eye on or something, a concern. But at the same time, I still trust Houston's defense in totality. Like Kris said, you got to be able to do that consistently throughout a full game. And Houston's ability to guard for a full game has shown that they can do that. And so their teams that I've seen, their teams with guards, they can do it. So it's one way to have a successful offensive game plan against Houston is by doing that.
And flip side, not many teams can keep Jamal, Marcus, and Tremont out of the paint if the Cougs spread the floor. So, it's part of the beauty of college basketball. Matchups are key. Everybody knows that who's watching us on YouTube and on Twitter. Matchups are important. But the Cougs have advantages. The Cougs have capabilities that, Coach Sampson has said. It's not a perfect team, but they're a very good team. And they have a chance to win a championship. And that's the important thing about all of this going forward. This team could be special. We've said it from our very first Let's Rage Cougs show. This team could be special, and the 28-2 was still a chance, I think all of us believe, to get better.
And to King George's point, I think it's a great point. Memphis and Alabama, the really where they kind of hurt Houston by spreading them out was getting players in foul trouble and going back to the Alabama game specifically, which Mark fouled out. It's a great point.
And penetrating the defense.